Guys and girls, it's official. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, your spot for DJ mixes and gaming. Today I get to share with you all the game room, and this has been months and years of planning, I guess you could say. I'm gonna be giving you guys a long detailed look at everything that I have in here, from the games to the nostalgic items and mementos. Basically everything that I have in here that represents my childhood. Think of it as a remix or like a remaster of my past, because obviously if I wanted to go all the way back to the 80s and represent that, I think it would look less like this and more like this. This is more of the current theme that I wanted to go with, very vaporwave, synthwave, lots of throwbacks and nods to my childhood. So I'm going to start off with basically a quick look at everything, and you can check through the chapters down below. I'm gonna have it all segmented out, so if you want to skip to a certain part, go ahead and do that. But after the quick look, I'm gonna go ahead and go into every single thing about this room in detail. Then after that, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave a little bit of ASMR for you all of the arcade room, with no music in the background or whatsoever, or me talking, anything like that. Just the sounds of all of the arcade games and games on my consoles going on all at once. For those of you that like that, I'll leave it a little long for y'all to just kind of chill out and vibe to. If you have any questions that I might not be able to get to, head on over to the Discord. I will leave that invite in the description as well, so you guys can head on over there. And for anything music related, I am still doing that. I've got a couple things in the works. Head on over to the playlist section of my YouTube channel and you'll find a bunch of DJ mixes and music that I have done myself. Alright, so let's go ahead and just get right into this. Okay, so this is everything that I have in the arcade room. So once you walk in, you're gonna be greeted with all of the LED, vaporwave, LED neon lights. I tried to go with a hot pink and blue neon aesthetic. You walk in, you are greeted with a Arcade1up wall-mounted partycade, and this is customized. I wanted to make this a space saver when you walk in, that way you're not feeling crammed with a big unit sticking out. There is a lot of cable management that needs to happen here, which I have not gotten to yet. You will see some nightmares like this that are still in progress, but I wanted to get this video up as soon as I could. And getting back to this, Bit.Trip Runner was a WiiWare game released on the Wii originally, and I wanted to make this Arcade1up specific to retro style games, so games that look like they were made in the 80s and 90s but were pretty much made anywhere from 2008 and up. This is a very fun retro style game, a rhythm game that I would recommend to anybody who hasn't played it yet, and pretty basic. And I tried to make this look as if it was a cabinet from the early 80s. I took a lot of notes from the Donkey Kong, Pac-Man. I added the little instructions the games back then used to have, and just the artwork in general. Kept it very retro, and I wanted to make it look as genuine as possible. Or any of the other games that are here, they're pretty much looking like as if they were made maybe 20 years ago, something like that, 20-30 years ago. It's a pretty fun little unit, and if anybody wants to jump in, they can always grab this as a second player. All custom artwork that I did on my own. This here is going to be the primary console hub, or just the main event of this entire room, just because for one, it has my modded Wii, which I call the Synth Weave, and I'm pretty sure a majority of you have seen this in my other videos where I did a complete mod of the external as well as soft mods. This console really expands what we can do in this room, because you can do light gun games, you can do racing games, and with all of the accessories that it has, which we will get to in a minute when people come over, we just have a whole variety of different types of games that we could just jump into real quick and just start playing. Along with the Wii, I do have these two arcade fighter sticks, which are compatible with many Wii games that people are not aware of. So like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, a lot of fighting games, and some retro style games that came out on the Wii as well. My PS2 Slim, which is also modded, it has the MX4 SIO mod, which basically allows you to read games off of an SD card through the memory card slot. And there's still a couple things I want to do to this. I want to get rid of the hotspots that are in there from the LED I put in there. And this I did a video on as well, basically showcasing that I try to make it look somewhat similar to the PS4 and the PS5 with the black and white colors, and then the blue LED light, just trying to make it cohesive with what the PlayStations look like now. And here's just a small collection of games that I have slimmed down a lot. I'm currently getting rid of some that are not in this video, but this is what I wanted to keep. For the PS2, I kept these games mostly because of the DDR games, which I'm a huge fan of. And getting into DDR, I did do a video on these as well, where I did a mod to make them work on the carpet, but I don't have carpet anymore, obviously. So I basically brought them back to stock, but they worked great as far as the buttons. As you can see, they're lighting up right now. And right now I have in the original DDR Max. So this is such a fun game to play, and I do play DDR quite often, and I do suck at it, but it's a fun game. I just love it. And again, it's just another variety of games that you can play in the game room. Right here I have the PS4, which I haven't upgraded to a PS5 yet, just because of everything that you've seen here in this game room so far has really taken a lot out of my budget, and I think I'm gonna stay with the PS4 until the next GTA comes out, so I guess 2025 if it's not delayed again. But I still do use this to play Black Ops and GTA 5 and a few other games. I did recently get this controller a few months back, which it looks really good. And this down here is actually my brother's PS3. He wants me to hold on to it so that when he comes, he can actually get into his F1 games. So he does have a steering wheel that goes with the PS3, and the F1 games feel fantastic with that. And of course, I can't forget about the Tron bike. This was given to me from my brother, so it fits the space nicely. It's a really cool piece to just have displayed here. And I know it might be difficult, or actually it does look a little bit easier to tell on the camera. But if I step back on the console, I actually checkered out the different boxes in 2 colors. So it goes blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, all the way over here, blue, pink, to stay with the aesthetic of the entire room. And up here we have a board game collection, which is starting to get a little bit bigger, which is cool. And I have yet to even play these, but if you have heard of them, Lacuna and Spots, new school style games. Haven't had a chance to play them yet, but if you guys have played them, let me know and I can beat people at this. Got a deck of cards from my cousin Chris. We do play cards here sometimes, and this is a pretty fire card set. Looks pretty cool. We have little coasters for when people are over and we're drinking, or if I'm just having a drink and I want to set something on. There's a little console stand over here. NES game as coasters, which is really cool. Lud, I know you're watching this, so thanks for these. Still representing these. These are so cool. And last but not least, on the main console is the 80s neon phone. I have wanted one of these forever. Late 80s, early 90s, I'm guessing. This is actually custom made by my brother, Greg. Thank you so much. This is fire. This really just completes the overall aesthetic of this room. It's a real phone, guys. It just is not connected. But originally it was just a clear phone, as you can see here, transparent, but there was no neon light in it. And he got the neon light online and was able to open it up, put it in there, and somehow was able to manage that space inside and just get all of it to work. And it just lights up the whole room, and it is just an awesome piece to have in here. All right, on to the TV. This is, as you can tell, an old school Samsung TV. I bought this in 2010 and it has lasted me this long. And 2 reasons why I haven't updated it. One, the highest resolution on my games is 1080p, and it does obviously handle 60 frames per second. The thing I like about this Samsung TV is that it has 4 inputs for HDMI. A lot of TVs that I look for now only have 2 inputs, and so this really helps a lot with the consoles that I have. It still looks amazing for such an old TV, and I did get a new TV, just not for this room. Yeah, the budget did kind of run out at that point, but I gotta thank the wife for even allowing me to have a game room like this. But I am extremely happy with this TV still until it decides to die out on me. Now this is actually a multifunctional area. This is where I work from home on my days that I am allowed to work from home. Also, this is where I get to work on my music and DJ mixes. Right now, I actually do have a song that I'm working on, and actually you can hear it in the background of this video. So if you are interested in the track that you're hearing right now, check the link below. I have a video to that. I also do my DJ mixes here, and I want to get into some PC gaming. Even though I have Macs, I know that the Mac can play a couple PC games. So if you guys do know of any compatible Mac PC games that I can play, or you guys want to play online with me, let me know down in the comments below so I can check that out. And I did get this gaming chair mostly for work, but I should also start playing in this chair as well once you guys can recommend a couple games for me. I think this chair was maybe about 90 bucks on Amazon, so it's really comfortable, and yeah, it fits the space nicely. Able to do everything that I need to do as far as work, even video editing, which obviously I'm gonna be doing that after this video in this section right here. The long LED neon lights. Another hookup from my brother, Greg. Thank you again. I love these. This lights up the entire room, which I wanted to. It has an ombre gradient vibe to it. The aesthetic here is just spot on because of these lights. I got this, I guess, idea of lighting from Tilt, the arcade that was around in the late 80s and 90s. I'm sure some of you guys have been there. I really wanted to recapture that type of vibe, and although this isn't exact to the setup that they used to have, it definitely does bring me back, and I just wanted to kind of make it my own type of style. But walking in here with these lights, I feel like I am in a cyberpunk world slash arcade from the 80s and 90s, and it just nails it. And walking over here to this corner, this is the display slash prize area. Again, another nod to the Tilt arcade, where I guess even if you go to a Dave & Buster's nowadays, they obviously have these where they have the prize area where you take them your tickets or points, and you can exchange them for the prizes on the wall. And these are basically all gifts that were given to me, and I felt like they had a rightful place on here to mimic a prize wall. You got this little arcade guy. It's a LOL arcade hero, which is really cool. My cousin Mikey got this for me. Thanks, cousin. It's amazing. Looks great. And I got a little Luigi from the Mario movie from my friend Kristen. Kristen, thanks for this. I told you this is gonna go up on here. And again, the NES coasters that are from my buddy Ludwig. I have the box up here because the box is just really cool. Okay, and then I got some Pez on display. Obviously all video game characters from the 80s and early 90s. Actually, I guess they're all from today's gaming too, because these guys are forever in gaming. I think they're pretty much cemented in Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, and Sonic. Now, I did say that I was collecting board games. My wife and I like to play, so Santa got these for us this past Christmas. I wanted to go with Monopoly, the 80s version. This is one of the first board games that I did play as a kid, as well as Uno. So these games really take me back, and my wife likes these games too. This game right here, I feel like nobody ever wins, and it can go on for hours and hours and hours, but it is fun just to jump into and see who can make the most money and who can go broke. The last time we played, I'm the one that went broke. Some little game with stickers. And back to the Wii accessories. I'm gonna do a whole video on this, by the way, but I have the guns, which this was actually a Wii Nerf gun that I had painted, both of these actually. So if I ever want to just jump into some Wii light gun gaming, just go over here, grab one of these. And I got the original Wii light gun right there, which I'm thinking of selling that and then getting a shotgun so that I could play some deer hunting games on the Wii. And I have 4 Wii wheels, which is great for just jumping right into some racing games that are compatible with this. Every time I have people over and we do play racing games, we go straight to these. And last on the prize wall is the Quest 2. Recently got this for Christmas from my wife. The Quest 2, everybody. They do have the Quest 3, but this does get a lot of games that are still being made right now. And I have plenty of games and a back catalog on here. I'm actually going to do a video on one of them coming up. Okay, jumping into the aesthetics of the sofa area. These are patterns that definitely harken back to my younger days as a kid, and I love both the checker pattern and this pattern was funny. It just kind of reminds me of the stickers that I used to get, which were like surfer stickers. And if anybody remembers Trapper Keeper, these patterns were popular on both. And again, the color scheme, the hot pink and the light blue. Now to the other side of the game room, the ghosts from Pac-Man. These are very popular. Most people have them in their game rooms. I got both of these as gifts. At some point, I'm obviously gonna get a Pac-Man. I'm thinking about redoing a neon sign that was in teal and putting it right there. For the rest of the Arcade1ups, this is the most recent one. This was an early birthday present from the wife. Attack from Mars. If many of you have not seen this, it's a virtual pinball machine and it comes with about 10 games on it. The screen is about 21 to 23 inches. I'm not sure on the exact size, but it is a great size for the space, and I am definitely pleased with how it works. It has haptic feedback for when you're gaming, and like if you're gonna push on one of these buttons and the ball hits it, you feel the vibration. There's also vibrations up here, and the sounds just really make it feel as if you're playing a real pinball machine, as well as the little plunger as well, as you just saw. And you can even hear all of the sounds. I have the volume turned off, but the sounds for the actual machine are still there. So this is an amazing addition, and honestly the last addition to the game room. This was the cherry on top, and basically everything is now complete. So on to my first Arcade1up Gen 1. So these are the first versions of the Arcade1up that had come out, and it was the Street Fighter Champion Edition. I customized it. I did the ETA Prime mod, which is basically as adding a Raspberry Pi 3 B+ into the unit, which basically allowed me to add over 3,000 games. I switched out the buttons and the joysticks, and now this is the Arcade1up that basically keeps on giving, because I come back here and I play various games all of the time. I see a lot of people complaining that this was the worst model that came out. Well, obviously, since it was their first version, now they have bigger versions, but for my room, it fits perfectly, and I, again, come back to this thing at least once a week, have not got tired of it at all, and it just takes me back, just like everything else in this room. And last but not least is this Generation 1 Arcade1up, which was a COVID mod for me when everybody was on lockdown. Arcade1up had not come out with a Tron, and that was basically, actually when Arcade1up first came out, I said they better have a Street Fighter version, and if they have that, it better be able to be modded so that I can add a bunch of games on there, and there better be a Tron version. If they don't have a Tron version, I'm gonna make my own. So I jumped on that real quick, maybe a year after I bought this. I bought this one used, and it used to be a Asteroids Arcade1up, and I did a full conversion to Tron as best as I could with the limited amount of tools that I had, which obviously it did take some work, because I had to change out this whole entire panel, create holes for the buttons that weren't there before, added the joystick, a whole bunch of wiring and cabling, things that I learned and have forgotten by now. I tried to make this as close as I possibly could in this body. So I added black lights, black light neon strips just like on the arcade version. And this would have been hard to do exactly like they have it in the arcade. So again, I just tried to do what I could with the limited supply of tools that I had. This is basically dedicated to games that that are flying and spinners, and this is basically all of the other retro games that are fighting or just beat 'em ups or everything else that was in the arcade up until about 2002, 2003, and added the little coin buttons down here, which was a gift as well from my brother. So I added those in, and I just tried to get the rest of the decals and little nuances of the original arcade cabinet onto this. And that about wraps it up for the arcade room. Thank you everybody for joining me today. It has been a work in progress, and I really have kept a tight lid on this for the longest time. I really wanted to share a lot of what's been going on. I don't really talk about my IRL too much, but we moved, we got a house together, and basically my wife allowed me to get and make a game room out of a second room. So I just feel so blessed, and this is just something that I've always dreamed of, and it gets a lot of views, and I just wanted to share it with you all, to all of my subscribers. And speaking of subscribers, we're almost at 2,000. So if you're watching this and you haven't watched it yet and you enjoy the content, check out my other stuff. And if you're into whatever I am making, feel free to join. It would mean a lot, and I try to make content as best as I can. So hopefully we see you around in the future, and help to get us up to 2,000 subscribers. And again, this is the game room. I'm gonna be sharing some ASMR here now, so you guys are gonna see different angles and just hear all of the sounds as if you were here, and hopefully it'll bring you back to your good old days of being in an arcade, or if you've never been to an arcade, give you that type of feeling that you just haven't got before. Again, thanks for joining me. Check out the Discord, check out the playlist for all of my music, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.